Hey.
Hi, Joey.
Hi, guys. We're experiencing. Hello, guys. How are you? So glad you're joining us.
You need to love this.
Yeah, this would be good. It was a learning experience for me. We'll be for everyone else. Okay, should we get this?
Yeah.
Should we give it more time?
Yeah, let's, this is for the recording part. So, hello, everybody. Hi, all who are going to be joining us live and all who are going to be getting the recording. This is our free webinar where Maria will expose her experiences, lessons, and takes from the workshop Secrets from a Pro, which was called the Captain of the Ship. And she's going to present from A to Z how she created, what she learned, and lessons that she's sharing with you. Also, just giving you a bit of her experience of the workshop itself.
Yeah. My experience in the workshop and how I was able to create these images in the Captain of the Ship workshop and everything that was provided, the guidance, all of it.
I seeing you here. We're just collecting, we're taking a moment to gather. Yeah. So what we're going to do is Maria will be sharing the screen. So from time to time she will stop. You will see her full, and sometimes she won't.
So they can see me one time.
Yeah.
They can see me. Okay. Well, hey guys, I'm so glad you're joining us. I just want to tell a little bit of my experience with the Seekers from a Pro program and the Captain of the Ship workshop, where we created in class full editorial portraiture, and kind of the steps that we took to create those final images.
So just to let you know, the workshop Captain of the Ship was a 4-day workshop where first we learned about storytelling. Second, we learned about production, and then the participants were creating they were having their photo shoots, and then after that they were publishing it. We went over the imagery, and then they were pushed to publish. They were encouraged to publish their creation. So Maria, not only because she was part of the whole Secrets from a Pro, but she was a participant as well. So her work became absolutely beautiful, and it was acclaimed, and it's coming out soon. So we will tell you where and later. But today she's going to take us from A to Z, how she had an idea and how through the workshop it gave her the courage and the knowledge to step up and bring it to another level, which became iconic, beautiful story, fashion story that is being published. So I give the ground to Maria.
Okay. So first of all, it was crucial for me to have a concept Arlene really made it really clear that you can't just start like out of the air to create a story without having a concept, like having an origin story for the story that you want to tell. So in my case, I honestly stumbled upon an idea. I love portraiture, and funny story, I was when I was digging, there's a place in my building where they kind of like put all the furniture, things that you want to take off the house. So a car comes, picks it up, and takes it someplace. And I found this beautiful brochure that you guys are seeing here. It was a musical book from the 1900s. I love antiques, so I was fully taken by it, and I just kept going through the pages. And I actually created this frame that you see on the left. I actually framed it in my home, which was the cover of the book. And the idea kind of came up. I'm like, oh, I can create beautiful portraits 1900 from the 1900s of my friends using fashion to create.
So just to clarify, at the beginning, she wanted, okay, well, we've got a stylist, we've got art direction, we've got the studio, we've got everything. What I want to do, I want to create beautiful portraiture. Because the whole concept from my concept was rooted. And she was, oh yeah, I can create it with my friends. I go, Maria, you need a deeper concept. She's, oh, okay. The second day, when she finds this, she's, oh my God, Arlene, I found it. There it is. And it was like, yes, we celebrated it. And she went deep into the concept and we named it, 1900 Now, Portrait of My Friends. That's
1900
absolutely
later
beautiful.
portraits of my friend.
Yeah.
So then we moved on into the creating the mood board. My initial mood board that I don't have right now, it was kind of all over the place because I went and did research, but very washed stuff. Like I went into Pinterest, so there wasn't really I wasn't really digging deep. It was more of a generic mood board. So talking to Arlene, we were able to go into deep research, researching all portraiture, more of like ethnic portraiture, and that really helped me to visualize the concept that I really wanted to go for. So as you can see here, it's more of like an honest feel. Again, on the images on the right is more of like an ethnic feel, really raw, honest. And then again, bringing it that modern twist, which are the black and white images in the bottom, to bring that essence of now, 1900, but now. And again, emphasizing the color palette I was gonna be working with. So when I will show you after, but when creating the styling, that was gonna be an accent.
See, by not going generic, what you're doing, you're putting music, you're putting the accent on your first thought of what is really personal. And then when you don't communicate that, what happens is everybody interprets it different way. So in your research, it's so important to expand that and go beyond just what you've seen published in editorials, fashion editorials. Yes, you want to do fashion, but every good fashion came from a conceptual idea that goes beyond only the material. And this is how this mood board helped Maria to be centered, not only within herself, but in her communication with others. And you'll see it.
So then I was guided by Arlene to not only create a generic concept mood board, but really go into detail. So the posing, what skin did I want, like what kind of makeup I wanted for the models, what elements did I want in this case, we were provided the stylist. So what elements did I want the stylist to go out and search for to add to my concept? What kind of hair I wanted. So here you can see that I wanted like some simple posing because I wanted the models to really bring the accent to the image. I wanted it to be super honest and them shining through. And here it was all about the hair too, because I will show you now the models that I had. They have beautiful curly hair, so I really wanted to bring that more of having in makeup. No, I wanted it more honest, and again, bringing that heritage kind of portraiture.
So through the Secrets from a Pro, what we do is we are providing the studio, right? And then you have high-end styling. You've got myself as a creative director. You've got really professional makeup. So the level is quite high, and Maria will show you, and she will explain why this was so important, because on that level, you have now the element. And now with the direction, your direction, she was now strong in her direction. She had it, she owned the visuals. Then it was easier to talk to these professionals so that she maximizes everything that was already provided in the production. Otherwise, it would have been just clothes. It would have been just clothes put together. It would have been just makeup. Yes, big hair, but what big hair? Yes, emphasize on hair, but what? Where is it coming from? What do you want? And the dilemma I remember was, yeah, I'm seeing all these clothes, I see, but I don't know how to direct to go this. And I go back to the concept. And that's what happened. Yeah, remember?
Yeah. And so these were the models that, like, these were my friends who were gonna model for me. Aisha, she's a professional model, and then Eunice and Nat, they kind of model on the side, but they're not professional models. But I felt they suited the story so beautifully because they all come from different backgrounds. So I mean, they're not Canadian, so they come from different places. And what I love is you can't really tell where exactly they're from, so they would hint to that idea of I can actually put them in any culture that I wanted, and you wouldn't really tell. So I felt they suited the story perfectly. I just wanted to show you the models that I was using. So now we moved on to creating a mood board specifically for the makeup artist. So in this case, as you see, I divided it into what I wanted for Aisha, Eunice, and Nat. You see here Zoe. I didn't get the chance to shoot Zoe, but I wanted to show you the honest mood board that I had. And I wanted really, again, like the simple makeup, beautiful hair, that it would hint the heritage. And it was so amazing because the workshop actually provided the professional makeup artist that I can show this to and really have her take the idea that I had and elevate it and making it even better than I even had envisioned.
See, the difference here is that she becomes the captain of the ship. Now it is Maria who's dictating everything because her vision is clear and her references are specific, but they're not blocking, right? So as you can see, Eunice's makeup is done it's on a female. And that's what we are guiding here in the workshop, that don't be so specific, but be clear. A clear direction without blocking, without narrowing, but yet you have to know how to direct. And that's what the captain of the ship is showing. And she's beautiful. She found beautiful references.
No, and that's huge because again, what I'm showing you guys here with all these mood boards, it was exactly for that. So I could communicate clearly the concept and idea that I had to all the talent that I was working with, and they could actually understand where I was coming from. So if along the line we were kind of diverting a certain place, there was always something we can go back to. And that was huge for me that I learned here. It's having that clear direction where everyone is on the same page.
Yeah.
And then the last, it would be the lighting. Again, I wanted it to keep it super honest. I was thinking of a beauty dish, a spot to bring the background and making it as real as possible, but emphasizing on those facial features since we weren't gonna be using a lot of makeup, creating that dimension on the face and on the styling that again was provided. And the last one, once I was able to talk to the stylist and all the elements she was gonna provide us, all of us, I was able now having the models and having the styling and having the idea of the makeup. Now I could work the styling. I'm not a stylist, so I needed a lot of help here from the stylist and Arlene giving her input as well. But I was able now going back to my concept, what colors I was going towards, what's the feel I was trying to get, which was heritage, a high fashion portraiture, and work the styling in such a way that when we went to set, now the stylist knew, okay, this is what she wanted for this, and this. Again, there was a space to play around, but we were not just out of nowhere just coming up with looks when we're talking about there's a schedule we need to follow as well, because I was shooting 3 models.
Yeah.
Envisioned 4, but I ended up shooting 3. Again, there was a schedule that we needed to follow. So this again helped a lot the stylist too. And it helped myself to relax as well and focus on what I needed to focus, which was shooting.
So here I just want to say that production, which is provided, is major. But what is very important also in these workshops is that, especially this one, the captain of the ship, and Maria will tell you, what Maria was going through, what you're seeing is not just one day. It's not all done in one day. It was done in 4 separate sessions, which the last one, no, the one before the last was the photo shoot. So there was time to digest, to know what the elements were, and then Maria going back and connecting with the stylist and then fine-tuning things, and then the stylist showing Maria certain things so that there was time to mature with all the participants. So that was important.
Yeah.
It's not just something that, oh, you see the clothes and then you just shoot, and then you've got a concept, you see the stuff, and then also you have to create something. No, this was a true editorial photo shoot with her ideas, with her photography.
Yeah, no, it was so important to have the ease, knowing that the production was taken care of. Because again, ourselves, if you want to create images like this, we might be able to create it by ourselves, but it will be a lot harder, especially when you don't have a lot of experience in creating these kinds of shoots. So me knowing that I have the creative direction and a complete support behind me to be able to create these images was a relaxation for me, because now I could focus on directing with the ideas that I had in mind and being more concise, knowing like, oh no, I'm working with professionals who know how to take care of the aspect that they need to. And another thing that I should emphasize, the workshop really told me how important it is to really allocate the roles to each one in the team, so everyone knows what they're doing. So in this case, in the production, I really found that it was so important to have an assistant and a digitech. In the past, I didn't really get the chance to work with an assistant, maybe a friend that was helping me around, but not someone that knows how to properly digitech. And because I found that, for example, in this case, creating this editorial, it's good when you're shooting, like for example, if you're tether shooting, which was me in this case, it's good to see the final vision, like what is it that you're trying to go towards. And something that I learned with Arlene was using capture, which I feel really helped us really get the feel of the concept that I was going for. Because the digital, I was able to guide her and say like, okay, these are the images, like this is the concept that I'm going for. Let's work the settings, the adjustments a little bit, so we can go more like once we're shooting, we're sitting on a solid ground where we're like, oh, we're not just imagining how it's gonna look when I do Photoshop and everything else, but we can see it in real now. And I feel like it added a lot of excitement as well for the models, because they were looking at the images and they're like, oh wow, like I see it. So
So they were creating the recipes based on what was needed. Okay, so that helped a lot. Not only to create excitement, because what you're seeing is really truly wow, huh? But also for Maria to know that okay, she had it, or it had to be worked. A lot of times it had to be reworked, but the start was already good. So yeah, it doesn't stay only in the mind of the photographer, right? That's what you
yeah. Like everyone can be excited with you, because again, talking about communication and being as clear as you want to be, you can have something in your head, but then they're not able to see it, so they can be excited with you. So by using this minor tool, because honestly it's something you might overlook, because you're like, oh no, it's okay, I can work in post, you're adding a lot to the shoot. And that's something I realized. I really realized. And then we moved on to the execution. Again, it was important to brief the team so everyone was on the same page. The initial challenge that I had, which is fine, I wish we had the image here. We didn't, we didn't get the image. It's okay. Was creating the set. Again, I had my concept. I had something in mind, and I worked it as I thought logically it was gonna work. But when we took the first test shot, it was looking so flat. The set was looking flat. The lighting was boring.
It looked like a studio portrait. Even though her idea came from 1900, now this and that, and all of a sudden it looked like studio portrait. What had happened is everything was perfect. There was perfection, like the set was perfect. They worked it. I left them alone. They were going to do it. And then we looked at the result. So Deborah and Maria were working, and it felt like something was too much. It was like studio portraiture. And then Maria said, okay, so what is it? And then she will tell you a small minor change that was done and suggested, or she did it, that was suggested. Two minor shifts elevated the pictures, and all of a sudden now it was editorial rather than just studio portraiture.
Yeah, so I gotta say that it's important in all kinds of photography. It's good for you to have contrast, to have texture, dimensions, and I feel like that's what was lacking on my initial arrangement of the set. So by Arlene pointing out two honest, not minor details, because they ended up changing the entire shoot, but just reworking the backdrop that you see. It was just the backdrop and the bottom cloth. She added another piece of cloth that now it was like, oh no, we're sitting on an actual portraiture. It's set in the 1900s. And something else that she added was the beakers that you see. I wish I could show you the beakers that you see that Deborah is holding on the left. Just adding them in front of the light, it created such a dimension on a dimension on the dimension on the images that elevated that elevated the shoot right away.
Very simple two things, as Maria's explaining. All we did was playing with the boards, limiting the intensity of the light, creating different shadows which were negated by the backlight that she wanted, and adding organic element by adding another piece of fabric on the floor, all of a sudden completely brought spirit to the picture and lowered the light, softened it, so that what I was saying is, okay, you want 1900, but 1900 there were no flash. So lower it, make it less directional, so it feels like it was done through, they had their studios, which was like daylight from above and beside. It did the magic.
It changed the entire shoot, and that's why it was important, in my case at least, to have Arlene with you are the creative director of your shoots, you always are, but it also comes with experience, and that's the experience I didn't have. And I actually thank the fact that Arlene was there, because she has been the creative director of all her shoots, so she was able to point out these minor details that I would have maybe let go or try to fix myself.
You got a big fly that came from somewhere, I don't know where.
We're safe. By her fixing these things, it absolutely changed the entire shoot.
So basically, this workshop is to make you the creative director, right? But how are you going to learn unless if you spend years of it? See, you're not meant to be a stylist. You're not meant, but creative direction is knowing all these elements. So in this workshop, what was happening is easing Maria into it. She felt supported. There were different knowledges, and then all of a sudden now she will recreate it. She will know how to think. Look how beautiful that is.
Yeah, no, and this picture on the left, and well, the images I'm showing you is truly to underline the fact that when you're working with a team that knows exactly what you're doing, you can actually sit back and relax. Like, I love the fact that Deborah, by doing the amazing job that she was doing, look at the reaction of the model when she saw her image, and she was like, oh my God, like, this is so exciting. Please send it to me. I want to show my mom. And having the makeup artist by my side, and me and her even stepping in and doing minor changes that, again, I'm going so fast, you kind of go in the momentum of everything that's happening. Sometimes you don't stop and analyze, but that's also what the captain of the ship was telling us. It's like, oh no, you need to learn when to continue, when to say stop. But that's why having a strong team beside you, they can point out things that you can easily miss, because you can put so many hats at the same time.
Yeah, and then look at her, like really leading, and you could see, like, she's really talking to her models, and she's the leader here, right? But she's supported.
Yeah, and now, well, when we went into the shooting, it was now an ease, because I knew I was working with a good team around me. They did their job so beautifully that honestly, it didn't took so many shots to get the final shots for each one of them. And we were shooting this end of the day. I was the last one to come in, and we were the fastest to finish the shoot, because everything was perfectly set, that honestly nothing really could go wrong, and it really allowed us to play around. It's funny story on this image on the right where you see the two models. I was shooting them the way that you're seeing now, which was like flat to the camera, and I kept shooting, and nothing. And I kept looking back at the monitor. It wasn't really working. We were like, I took there quite some time until I said, like, Harleen, like, I don't know what's happening. Like, something isn't working. And the only thing that Arlene did was she flipped the model, which you see an image. You'll see an image, one of our final images. She tilted her to the left, arranged a little bit of the styling, and I had a winner shot. Well, you'll see it's part of the final editorial. So
that's
yeah.
a good one.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're pointing it out, because this was the image originally. She kept shooting, and I go, something is off. I don't know what. Is it the outfit? Is it that? And because she's shooting, and I go, okay, turn the model to profile, make her look. Just tuck the styling a tiny bit. She took the picture,
And
winner shot.
it was a
Look at
winner
that.
shot. So it's the image here you see.
So
You
nice
see
to
on
make
the
a
right.
move too.
So yeah, with all of this, I just have to say that I truly learned a lot. First of all, having a great concept that you can always go back to, organized, researched, so you can have a clear vision all throughout. Working with a strong team, being able to communicate your ideas, it's key. This opportunity really allowed me to see on a bigger scale what I am able to accomplish, because I can shoot, but I mostly shoot like by myself or not with a big team. So it really set me up. I feel like it set me up for success for the next time I go into a set, and just realizing that I can now lead an entire team, making them all leave feeling happy, knowing that they added something to the shoot, that this wasn't able to be done without them. And it only made me feel even even better, knowing that the models, they're super happy with the photos. I am happy. And it was all because from the beginning, the origin was we started off in a good foot to end up with these images that I would say to
Stunning.
this day is the
Stunning.
best editorial I've ever created. This is actually the first actual high fashion editorial that I've created, and it was possible through the captain of the ship workshop. And I can only tell anyone that's wanting to dive into fashion photography, creating high-end editorials, take this workshop, because the leadership skills that it provided me, it, like I said, is gonna set me up for success for
I would
for
like
time
to,
come.
first of all, congratulate Maria for her beautiful photography. Yes, she had help. Yes, it doesn't matter. When you love photography, you are a photographer. There's a lot of elements beside photography that will bring out your skills to a higher level, right? This is completely her music. This is who she is. She loves these types of portraiture. But then you can love something, you imagine something, but then all of a sudden reaching it and seeing your work emerge and make sense with what your dream was, that needs guidance and it needs learning, it needs practice. But you have to practice with somebody who knows, so that, oh, you get it, and then it becomes. I learned that way just by looking at one shoot that was happening in front of me in Paris. And I go, okay, got it. So what I'm doing is right. Oh, that's how it's done. Yeah, okay. Once you've known that, then you start doing it. Let's dissect the photography for a minute. Look how gorgeous. The moment that Maria has picked, how the eyes are frozen on the right image. Look at that. Styling, by the way, impeccable. These are designer clothes, put together absolutely beautifully. But as a photographer, she has captured a moment of truth. Everything is falling into place. Can you see the subtlety of the lighting in the background? Can you see what we talked about when we said, yes, the background? Can you see the subtlety of the main light? It looks like window. You don't know what it is. It's no longer a spot. She had a beauty dish, but you can't tell it's a beauty dish anymore, right? So by just nudging, changing, it's still her photography. She decided on the moment. But from now on, this is in her portfolio. This is Maria's portfolio that is being printed, that she can say it's mine, and she can frame, and not only for her to show off that she can do this, But now she can book professional people because she's got something to show on that level. So now let's go to the image to the right, this one, yes. Look at the styling. These are pieces that are put together, but because the concept was so clear, it doesn't look masquerade. Because the model saw what Maria was after already, she's embodying it. And that those subtleties, they make a picture become editorial. The fashion is of now, is of today, but interpreted and layered in a way that emphasize the concept and yet inspire us to get dressed this way, because it's all about layering, it's all about the shine, it's all about these things. Yeah, we can do it. The big sleeves, this and that. So it doesn't look like it's obsolete. It doesn't look like, oh, you're recreating an image from 1900. It is current. Therefore, it can be published. Because if you create an image that's 1900, it won't be published unless if there's something current and inspiring. I must say, first of all, the choice of her model was absolutely stunning. Eunice was amazing. Yeah, gorgeous. Then when we were meeting, and that's what happens, when we are creating the mood board and all that, I'm there. I'm the creative director. I'm acting as a creative director. I'm not just your, your guide. So we were saying, we need a big hat. We need something that is like bigger than life. We were pushing the stylist. No. I did not. No, you have to. And because it's, secrets from a pro, then I'm like, no, we need something bigger. No. Let's find this. Okay. But can I just show you the subtleties in which this image is created? The lighting, the posing, hats to Maria. Okay. The styling now, the contrast between the big and the big, yes, the hat, for instance, then a shirt, not completely tucked in, mimicking the neck piece. All these little subtleties make it that it is publishable and it becomes iconic. There's contrast, there's texture, there is modernity, there is the conceptual reference, but it's frozen in the moment that the photographer chose. Her signature is on it. Yes, you get help, but it's Maria's signature. These are her pictures at the end. This is her portfolio now. This is her published editorial. From that, she can book top makeup artist. She can have proper production, and she's got my voice resonating in her when things don't work, right? Another thing is too, because there were 3 participants beside Maria. Not only she did her shoot, she was present looking at what was happening with their photo shoot, right?
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful. Like
it makes the whole experience even better, because when I was sitting on the other end, being the digitech of the other photographers, I was able to learn from their mistakes and learn as well from everything nuance that they were doing. So the experience really added that. And to bring it back to what you said, now honestly I feel the confidence to show my images and being able to get any model that I want.
Yeah,
any model that I want,
confidence.
any makeup artist that I want at this point, because these are strong images, and not just because I'm seeing them, because I've seen the reaction of other people, which truly emphasize the fact that, oh, these are images that are actually they're able to be published.
They're iconic. That's it. That's her. Like they have a weight to them. They're not just pictures. They have a weight.
Yeah, but this couldn't have been possible without the production that we went behind it. And that I have to give credits to the workshop that provided this, because it allowed me to flow freely in what I know, which is my photography and the lighting, but learning how to work it. And that's the difference of maybe just going to a workshop and watching someone shoot. Yeah, you learn like that, but having the hands-on experience, do it myself, it's another way that the information is like ingrained in you. And that I really thank it to this experience,
That's
because I'm taking this forever now.
Guys, let us know what you think of these pictures. Honestly, like, aren't they to be celebrated? I mean, I'm so proud. Like, I loved it. I would buy the editorial just because of these pictures. They are present. They're talking. Not only that, then in the selection, she's supported in the selection as well. In the edits, also, what color, how sensitive it's going to be. Why did you add more contrast? Why not lessen the contrast in places? How to do it? All of it is done through the workshop. So it's 4 days plus guidance after. I'm not just blowing my horn out. I don't know how they say it. No, it's not that. It's just because it's actual truly learning, being the captain of your ship as a photographer, and to celebrate what you truly love. You see others do it and they go, whoa, what's the secret? Yeah, there are secrets that are not told. So your questions, we are here to answer. Maria's here to answer. And also, maybe this seems very simple. Maybe you see it, oh, well, yeah, okay. Maybe there are certain things that you need to ask about lighting, about styling, about the studio, about the set, maybe about the psychology of how did she do it? How long did it take her? All of this, the question and answer floor is open to you, for you guys to answer your questions.
If you have any questions right now, or if throughout the week you guys are thinking of questions and you want to ask, you can always send us an email, send us a message on Instagram, whatever is best for you guys. But we're here to answer all the questions.
Yeah, definitely, because this is a community here. This is a community. Yeah, we all love photography, but we love photography where it's making a difference and we're making an impact. Yeah. While we're waiting for your questions, I just want to say, what is an editorial photography? An editorial photography is not something that is published just for it to be published. A good editorial photography is something that is teaching, something that's inspiring, something that's opening minds. A good editorial photographer is a photographer who's not just imitating. It is a photographer who's got ideas, which was like amazing idea. Look where the research, look where it came to. Oh, when she saw the music, when she saw the thing, that's what I'm going to do. That is an editorial. There is something behind it that matters to the photographer. They have something to say. That's the difference between editorial photographer that is celebrated compared to a photographer that's just doing. There's doing and there's creating. And when you are creating, there's passion and authenticity. Great. You want to do that. You have the passion. You are authentic in what you want to express. And all of a sudden you do something, you go, that's not falling right. You've got models in front of you. You cannot spend hours fidgeting. You start dumbing it down just so that you don't waste your time. But when you have a team behind you and you have guidance, you do it once, you do it twice, you're on your own. You roll. Do you agree?
Yeah. So right, Tanika, thank you for asking a question. Thank you for these wonderful images, Maria. I tend to be intimidated by lighting. What made you decide on the beauty dish? The beauty dish, the well, it's called Beauty Dish for a reason, because it emphasizes features in the face, and that's really what I wanted here. Again, going back, I wasn't working with a lot of makeup, so I truly wanted the images, like as you can see, let me show you again. Over here, you can see it best on this. I just want to show you this image again.
While you're looking for it, a beauty dish, as Maria said, is more directional. So it enhances the features
Yes.
and the volumes, you know?
So that's what I wanted here. So it was not a dramatic look, but it was strong on the face, as you can see here. Again, I'm working with post processing as well, but the beauty dish really does it for the kind of look I was going for. So that's why I chose the beauty dish. So it was bringing an accent.
And that's very true, and it was a good choice. But then in beauty dish alone, what was doing, it was too much. Even if she dimmed the light, it was just too much because it was too directional, it was too modern. So by working the beauty dish and the reflectors and the dark boards, we were able to get this directional light, but softening it, molding it in a way that it's not so frank. You couldn't tell it was just a beauty dish. Yeah.
So that's why I chose the beauty dish. And I get what you say when you're intimidated by lighting. It can be very intimidating when you don't really have a lot of experience with it, but it's good to just play and experiment with different sorts of lighting. There's a course here on the Secrets from a Pro program where it's all about lighting. We just had one a few weekends ago where they really went in depth on a few lighting setups that can only set you up for success. But yeah, honestly, it's playing around with the light.
As you are in that course, and you see how just by changing the boards and stuff, basic lighting, how we just shifted it, right? So there are tricks to it. Because in school or in books or in normal workshops, when it's not so fashion and not so finessed, you learn about the basic, reflector. You learn about the basic modifiers, the basic light, this and that. Light can be intimidating. And remember that the first thing, like, because we are now working in the open, you do something, it doesn't look good, the whole mood collapses. You have to own it. You have to know your lighting so that you keep the mood up. Yeah. But you're right. Just keep practicing, keep playing, even if, don't lose the intention of what you're after just because the lighting is not happening right away. That's the intention.
Yeah. So Renato asks, hi Maria and Arlene, excellent job. I wanted to ask, how did you come up with the color palette for this photo shoot? The color palette came intuitively when doing the research, because for me it felt like they were honest colors and very direct. So they really came up like looking at imagery, looking at the research pieces that I had, and that's kind of what I had in mind for the color palette. Again, that's a guide. I'm not gonna like set it in stone, this is what it's gonna be, but that's the kind of the vision that I had, and it just worked that the styling pieces allowed it for it to happen. But that was kind of the vision that I had from my research. And then you ask also, when you talk about mood boards, is there one mood board for each, the stylist, the makeup artist, and the models, or is one mood board for the whole team? So like I showed you, there's different mood boards for each one of the talents, because I wanted something specific for one of them so they didn't get diverted with a posing over here or a styling element if she was the makeup artist. I wanted to have something that's for themselves and they're like, oh, this is what I have to follow. So yeah, I created one for like the lighting, for example, for my Digitech and my assistant who I was creating the set with, for the stylist, like I showed you guys, and I even allocated what I wanted for Eunice, Aisha, Nat, uh, for the makeup as well, like the feel that I was going for. Again, that allows for them to have something to follow. But again, we're talking about their experts here in what they're doing, so they can just take that and like run with it,
Reinterpret it.
reinterpret it in their own way. So I do believe thank you for telling me this, that yeah, it is important to have different ones so everyone is on it in the job that they need to do.
You know, when you create a mood board, basically what you're doing, you have to think as they're thinking. Like, because a makeup artist, you give them an idea and they're only looking at the makeup and they think, oh, you're showing this for the makeup. That's dangerous. So first you create the mood board, that's the concept. That is the same for everybody, to be clear. And then you create you've got the concept, and then you've got the mood board for the makeup artist, you've got a mood board for the styling, you've got a mood board for the models in each one of them, so that you are inspiring them and directing them. Otherwise, they get confused and they think they're doing what you are inspired by, but it is now misinterpreted. You give them room for creation, but your words can be misinterpreted. One image can be misinterpreted if it's not directed for their qualifications.
Yeah, no, that's big too, because in the experience that I've had working in different shoots with Arlene, I do see each time she's like, oh no, let's not use this makeup artist because they go this way, or not this one because they tend to do this. So it is important too to know the talent that you're working with, because you know the kind of work they're gonna produce. So it's kind of like in photography too, like you have your portrait photographers, your fashion photographers, like each one has its own specialty. So I do feel by choosing again the right people to work with and giving them a good map for them to follow, it only sets up the shoot for success.
That's very well said. You're right. Not only your mood board, but then selecting the right artist, the right talent for the shoot that you want. I wanted to say something and I forgot. Going back to where did the concept come from? I think, like, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think she was after something organic, right? Right? Something organic and antique. So stark white, for instance, a stark black would not have cut it because it would have been too modern. The title that we landed on was 1900 now. Yes, it had to be modern, but not modern to the point where you forget the 1900. Modern meaning current. Modern meaning something that's allowing the next. It's current. You're not just sitting on the past and recreating. But 1900. Would the 1900 be like fuchsia? No. So the green is still nature, right? The gold, the muted browns, and that's her that's your natural way of going into things. She likes the warm tones. She's a Taurus, so she's earth, and you know, like she likes those. So it's so natural. So that's her authentic signature also. But the color palette is important, so that because she could have said, oh, these are the shapes, da, 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 da. No, it would have gone all over the place. What would you have done if all of a sudden the stylist came with a beautiful outfit, but it was like lime green? There were no colors like that. It doesn't make sense. She would have ended up shooting it just black and white, but then just looking at it, she would have cut her from her inspiration, right? So Maria came up with these colors, and it was like the receptacle for the stylist to look for things within. And then, of course, there's discussions. Remember, you've got 4 weeks to complete. So there were discussions with the stylist. There were discussions with the creative director. Okay, so if I do this, yeah, there are discussions. So it's almost you're doing a real job, and it builds itself. These little things we're talking about, it looks like, oh yeah, I could have done that. No, you need 4 weeks to build it to that level.
And can I add, especially because here the styling, we were actually working with high-end brands that they provided these clothes for us. So in a way, you hold a certain responsibility to create beautiful images that they can take and use for their own promo, and it can only add more to you. So I also feel like we shouldn't be intimidated as well with the styling, because in my case it was styling, like I don't know much about it. I feel like I have a style, but I don't know a lot about fashion photography, about fashion and style, and I'm not really up to date with with the fashion today. So it's good when, like, knowing, okay, I'm working with someone who's good at their job and they're in the moment, in the now. So you can actually bounce off ideas, you can prompt them, and they're like, oh, I can use this, I can bring uh, this designer now, and it allows them to play more. But yeah,
it adds to credibility to the photographer, and the fact that they want to use it, it adds to spread your name, But you're right, but you're responsible to make sure, because after all that work, you're responsible to make sure that they're getting images they can use as well. So it's like a reverence both ways. But that was a good point. That's a good point.
It's a great opportunity too, I feel, because it gets your name out there, and you build such a credibility that now you can work with. Now everyone is gonna want to give you your clothes, and like that you can move on. Because again, like I know at first I won't be able to get like the high end designers. I know probably at this stage no, but slowly like that you build a rapport almost with in the industry, that they're like, no, I actually want to collaborate with this photographer because this is what they produce.
Very good point. Yeah, because the idea is that each one of us, we become photographers that are making our mark, and we're making a difference, and we're being published and getting work from that and loving what we do. Because if we are just doing, we get jobs where we are just doing, executing, not thinking, not creating. And that can kill passion. I have a story to tell you regarding that. I went into depression at the beginning, even though I was doing billboards. I was doing whole run-through, and then there was the Eaton Center. In the Eaton Center, there was the Eatons. I did the billboard in Eaton, and then right after, I was depressed. I went to the therapist, and the therapist goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "Well, I thought this was my life passion. I'm not happy. It's flat." He goes, "Show me the work." I showed him the work. He goes, "Well, this is fantastic. What are you saying?" I'm not living it. After going to Paris, after having what I'm now sharing with you we are sharing with you through the Secrets from the Pro, I learned that we have to inject ourselves, our authenticity in our images. And it starts by having clarity, a vision, and collaboration, and a way of working that will make us as photographers not just doers executing somebody else's want for products to sell products, but to have a message while we are being paid. That's the difference between a big photographer and just, and Maria is on her way. She is that.
So Joey asks, "Hi, my name is Perla. First of all, congrats on this beautiful piece. It is really inspiring. Thank you. I have 2 questions. You talked about the different elements of the creative process for this shoot, but how would you summarize the key elements to keep in mind when creating a piece like this for a beginner photographer like me, my for a beginner photographer like me, my next question would be, does these elements of the creative process, concept development, lighting, posing, can be applied to other types of photography?
Yeah.
So
Great
I-
questions.
great question. So I feel like if you want to do it in a beginner level, again, you don't have, you can't pay a studio, you can't pay a makeup artist or a stylist. I would say too, uh, in when we're all creatives, we wanna implement new things in different ways. The makeup artist, the stylist, they would actually like truly like do it for free if they're creating something new with you. So I would push you, like if you feel you're on a beginner level, just try to reach out to makeup artists, stylists that you see in the city that are getting started too. Like you can actually tell that they're getting started and propose something to them like, hey, I have this idea. We don't have to go to a studio, we can just shoot it at my place.
Mhm.
I have I don't know, we can use my living room, we can use like, you can come up with, I feel like an idea where you can actually allow yourself to play and get that experience to work with the team. Because there's so much talent in the city that they're truly on a hunger to create and get their footing, that I feel like you can find people at the beginner level that maybe you're at who would really be happy to collaborate with you. And I feel like this will give you the push too to continue to continue and try new things, like once you get through to the uncomfortableness of the beginning where you're like, am I actually like shooting in the dark here, are they gonna respond? I feel like it would get you out there. And that's
Yeah.
if this would be applied to any other types of photography,
Yeah.
I feel like it does. If anything, it adds. 'Cause here again, we're talking about fashion photography, but if you actually created this, for example, for your wedding photography, for your uh, taking maternity photos, nature, it would
Everything.
elevate your photography, because now you're coming from somewhere. I have an idea and I have a vision, and I won't stop until I get what I want. And if anything, it will only differentiate differentiate
Yourself. You will make your mark.
yeah, it
You'll
will
have your
differentiate
signature.
yourself from everyone else who's probably doing the same thing, that they maybe take it as, oh no, this is like this is, we're just taking
Mhm.
a wedding photos. We know how it is. It's like this simple lighting. Not that everyone is doing it, but this would only make you stand apart from everyone else.
Exactly. See, the thing is, so Maria explained it so perfectly. The thing is, we have learned the techniques, we have learned some skills. And then we say, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. And we do it, but without a concept, without really writing. Sometimes you just write it. Sometimes it's one word and keep saying that word, or whatever it is. Come up with a concept that's yours, feel it first. Be inspired first, then create the space. After creating the space, research, create space again, remove any obstacles, and keep going at it. Because now you are inspired, you have built momentum. When there are difficulties, you're not going to step back. No, you're like, oh, you're hungry to see it alive. Without a concept, you will move from one thing to the other, and it stays on the same because you haven't given it all. Like, a baby needs 9 months to be born. But then every day of those 9 months, what is the mother or the parents, like if it's a wanted baby, they're feeding it, they're imagining it, they are pouring love into it. And when it's born, it's a joyous event. And that's exactly what photography is all about. It's born before even seeing it. It's there. The life force is there already. And then you're manifesting it, bringing it out. That's the creative process. So if you want to create photography that is created Doesn't matter if you're a beginner. It doesn't matter if you've got 35 years of experience like me. I'm still every time, I'm just a beginner. It is the concept that is alive, and I'm only the vehicle to make it be seen. That's all. And I use my knowledge and I use everything of God to bring it to life, right? So I say just play and practice. And if you can, I invite you to come with us because you won't feel alone. You feel supported. And this is the difference between creating and just photographing, right? Like creating, there's a process to create imagery, whereas just photographing, right?
Mm.
Is just going, okay, I've got this, I've got the light. And you know what? When you're only photographing, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. The overwhelm is big. You go, oh, I'm just a beginner, I don't know. Start simple. Start with daylight. But when you've got a concept, it doesn't feel like, oh, I'm just doing nothing. I'm just doing a daylight and a little whatever. No. When there's a concept and you've got your friend, not even a model, she's just wearing jeans and a t-shirt. But when you've got a concept, you will find the right day. You will pick the mood in which you're going to direct her. It's the same jeans and t-shirt. There is something you're after, rather than only, okay, my girlfriend with the jeans and t-shirt, daylight. Can you see it? I hope we answered your question. Did we?
That's so good. And something that I should underline from what you said, when you're being the vehicle of that idea or that concept, it kind of takes the pressure away from you because you're like, oh no, it's actually the idea who's leading me. It's gonna take us someplace. It's not like me that I need to have to figure it out. It's like I'm actually being the conduit, and by you taking that pressure off yourself, you flow easily. You flow, yeah. It flows.
So
And Ash has a question. Hi, Alina Maria, beautiful pictures. I want to know how long is the workshop and how does each day of the workshop look like? What would be done day 1 until day 4?
Beautiful. So it is done in 4 sessions, right? In 4 different days. The number 1 is a online virtual. So we meet after 7. So depending on how many people there are, prices varies on the number of people, and then if it's 1 or 2, we decide what's the best day and time for it. We decide the month, and then we decide what time is best for everybody. So the first one is a general concept of what we're doing, where we start, where we are starting, and where we are going to be landing. Then I'm teaching you how you create a concept. I'm teaching you how to, with clarity, create your mood board. Day 2, now you are working on your mood board, and you're coming to the studio, and is it that? Yeah. No, day 2 is you have created your mood board, and now we are dissecting, and I'm being the creative director, telling you what works, what doesn't. So you are fine-tuning the mood board, and most of the participants, as Maria said, even it was in her case, even though we have worked together for so many years, when she created her mood board, it was generic. Okay, where are you in here? What are you saying? Push it further. So day 2 is we are dissecting your mood board. So now you are a pro, you know how to create mood boards, right? Day 3 is where you are going to witness me shooting. Now I become you. You sit back, you watch me present my mood board, You watch me work with my team. You are sitting and watching a real shoot that I will publish also. So it's a real shoot. You're witnessing it, taking notes, and then we allocate the time in which you're shooting. Your mood board is ready. We have done your production. Production is ready for you. It's all done. And you've had time. You've had 2 weeks to see what the production is and to fine tune everything you do. You saw me do my concept and create the shoot. Now, when it's your turn, you have the elements. You've got the makeup artist. You've got the model. You've got the studio. You've decided on what backdrop you want it. It's there for you. Okay? We know what you're after. When you're shooting, you've got the other one of the participants who is acting as your assistant. Not only you're going to learn, because this is the captain of the ship, you have to learn how to communicate with your stylist, makeup artist, model, and assistant. So we're there to direct you, speak and direct and communicate basically smoothly and clearly with every one of your team players. You're doing your shoot. And finally, the final day, you do your presentation, we go over your selects, you show us an idea in which you wanted the whole thing to look, and then we'll go over and direct you into your editing, Photoshop, coloration, all that. And we give you tools so that you now publish it. We're there with you after as well. After you've done everything, we don't have a meeting, but we are there. We are there guiding you from beginning till end. And if you've got the nerves to go and publish, because now you know also how to publish, we're there giving you the feedback and pushing you forward so that you say, this I did, it's mine, now I can show off to the world. So it's it takes it's 4 weeks, but by the end, by the time you really published it, it's another 2 weeks, but we're there with you. We're there. Just an email, just a thing, and we're there. Yeah.
Joey asks, can anybody from any photography background take these workshops?
Yeah. It doesn't matter where you are, of course it is. You just tell us, see, it's the concept that's guiding, right? You tell us what you're after. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you want to create?
Your ideal.
Yeah, your ideal image. Mind you, if it's like you like to shoot the ice in the North Pole, we can go there or whatever, but it's like whatever you want to create within the studio, right? In the studio, because that's the environment in which we're working, right? Anything. It can be product, fantastic. It could be a campaign. It doesn't have to be editorial, but on that level, a level in which you can say it's mine and it's going to attract clients and it's going to allow you to book a team that is wanting to be working with. We're not here teaching you photography. We're teaching you to be the photographer, celebrated photographer. We're guiding you into this, like opening your wings, Yeah. Does this answer your question? Yeah. So Maria will tell you how to get in touch with us, how to book it. That's great. Thank you. How to, and also, if you just want to be personal, one-on-one, that's available as well. Of course, the price changes because now it's private. But captain of the ship, I cannot, I wish I had this when I started. I had it years later, after I had been 5 years struggling, as I told you, going through depression, because I thought, this is not what I'm giving my life for. There has to be more. Until I was in Paris and I witnessed I was doing an editorial. Like I was at that stage already working on editorials, but I wasn't feeling that I owned it until I witnessed a high-end photo shoot. Literally, the studio was on 2 levels. So when I was doing my editorial, I could hear another shoot downstairs. I asked the owner of the studio, what are they doing? They said, oh, they're doing the Mugler campaign. I forgot about my shoot, and I knew this was a chance in a million to witness a huge international photographer, high-end models, full-fledged studio. I opened those curtains. I peeked. What I learned that day while I was kind of shooting, because my job that day became, I want to learn. I want to see. I want to be the fly on the wall. And as I was doing that, it was giving me confidence, seeing how they work. It was a pivotal moment in my whole career. And as I say in all my talks, everything, I always talk about this little story. This is what I want. This is what I want to create. And then it was Maria's push. She says, you know what? This is so needed. It was her. It was her. She said, you have to open it up.
Yeah, because from what I've learned with Arlene, this world of the fashion world or the high-end photography is a very close world from what I've learned from her and from what I've experienced truly. And having someone that has had the 38 plus, the 35 plus years of experience fully open up and say, hey, I'm not holding anything back. I actually, whatever you want to ask me, I'm here. Whatever you want me to teach you, I'm here. I don't want you to go through all those years of trials and error for you to learn something that I have here just at the tip of your hand. So for me, it was a big stress for her to just go and do it. Like
you have to. Just has to be shared.
Yeah, just go and do it because it will add so much. And me that experienced it firsthand, firsthand, not only seeing her shoot, but me doing it also, it was a game changer. Like truly takes you from that feeling of, oh no, I'm just a beginner, to, oh no, I actually can do this because I see how it works. I know I've been there. I've guided, I've worked on my idea and I've seen it come to fruition. I know I can take this and I can apply it into many other jobs, my own editorials, jobs that I get, like you said, campaign, whatever it is, I'll take it because you need that push and that encouragement and that ease of, oh no, so this is how they're doing it in that level that I've kind of like dream of because I don't think if I'll be able to get it. Well, here you're able to see it and experience it.
Becomes easy because you've seen it. You know, we always wondered, like, at least that's how I was. I always wondered, am I doing it? Is it, how do they do it? How
I
is
feel
it
like that's
done in the,
everyone. That's everyone. That's why you're a little bit shy. You're like, oh, but can I do it at my level?
Yes.
Like, I don't know.
Yes.
Like, I fully empathize with you, Perla. Like, completely. Because I know you can feel like, no, but I'm just a beginner. Like, I know my technical, but I don't have all the experience or I haven't worked with huge teams or done jobs, whatever. You can feel intimidated. Well, this will give you the confidence. That's how I can say it.
Yeah,
Like truly the confidence to know like, oh, I'm able to do it. She said, sometimes I felt alone because not a lot of experienced photographers like to share their knowledge with beginners because of greediness or ego. And if they do, they don't cover a lot of what they've learned or don't make affordable options.
Exactly. Well, the difference is Secrets from a Pro is truly a heart, like, because I love what I do. I just love it. And it's truly like it's a calling. I love it. Plus we're together, right? So it makes it like it's not just me, it's not my ego, it's not me, the photographer, who's there with you. It's the art director, it's the photographer, it's the passionate person who's still chasing an image, an idea, all of it. There's number one, there's that. Number two, I have taught creativity for 8 years times 3, 3 classes a year. I'm coming as a creative mindset a mentor. So creativity is not something that you own. Creativity makes you feel like a beginner. So there's not a secret that I can call is mine. No, it's creativity that's leading. It is the mindset of the creative creator. And for that, the more I share, the bigger I become. The more you learn, we feel that we're bringing more passion, authenticity, and we are changing the world because we're living with love. What's the point otherwise? This is not a career that we all know it's not easy career. If there's no passion, and if we're not doing it to make a difference, our passion will die. So there's nothing to hide. The more we are working this way, the happier we all are. So, yeah. And also, if you are a beginner, you're going to be exploring areas that no one has explored if you have been given the confidence to do it so. The world needs you. The world needs new minds. The world needs somebody who's eager to start doing something different. So what is there to hide? Yeah. What is there to hide? Nothing. We're together. Yeah, it's a community that is living creatively and thriving. That's another thing. More and more, you're going to see, this is something I'm going to tell you. With AI, creativity is going to be more and more valued. Now, as a photographer, you are coming up, you are saying something through an image. You are injecting a feeling to one image, even if that image is to sell shoes. The lighting, the coloration, your softness or harshness, the angle, manipulate the way people react to an image. By their reaction, you are the conductor of their feeling. A photographer has so much power when they're true to themselves. We think, oh, it's just photography. I'm not saving lives. You are. When you are authentic. Because it's shifting something in people. Yeah.
You're making me feel something that's so important, especially today with, like you mentioned, the AI, where we feel like, oh no, this job is obsolete. No, because a machine will never have that human essence. Like they will never have it. And that's why you can tell sometimes. Most of the time, you're like, oh, this was AI or this is an actual image. So it would only be that. And it's thank you that you said that, because I feel like all of us, we might feel a certain way with AI these days, but yeah, creativity
It won't replace.
Yeah.
It won't replace. And if you learn how to work with concept and the whole thing, you will use your AI if it needs to be towards your concept. But you're still a photographer. You're not just doing, you are creating, right? So I think, and if you have any other questions, but in the meantime, Maria, I don't know how can we give the link, but in the meantime, I invite you to check all the programs we have. We are just about released. Did we release it or are we releasing it? Released it?
Yeah.
We just released the movies. The movie is part of the captain of the ship. So we created a movie where you will see me do the photo shoot. So that's the section. That was the day where I did the photo shoot, showing how I would do it. And my theme was rooted. So I was creating a shoot based on my concept, rooted. And I take you step by step from concept creation. What is being the captain of the ship? What is being the director of your ship as a photographer? It's the day. Whatever happened, there were mistakes. There were
Big
moments
ones.
that, there were mistakes. There were ups and downs. There were things that were working. There were things that were not working. And it's like a movie. It's beautiful. I won't tell you what happened, but you will witness what it takes to be the captain of the ship. That's one movie we have. Then we have a few other programs in it. If you're not ready to take the full-fledged captain of the ship workshop, we have that. Then we have another movie. It's a course. It's a video course that shows you what's the difference between a fashion campaign, a fashion lookbook or commercial fashion catalog, and editorial. It's really, really in-depth. You will see it. And I will demonstrate the photo shoot. So you will be the fly on the wall, sitting back, watching, and it boosts your confidence. And once you're ready, or if you're ready right now, I invite you, let's create a team so that we can repeat and we can do the captain of the ship in life together, life together. All we need, like, if you want to do it privately, we're open for it. Or if you're few people, we decide on the date and we start the production on our end, because we need a bit of time to do the production so that you get the best models, the best, stylists and all the elements. So, oh yeah, thank you, Maria. So Maria has the link.
Yeah, I added the link for everything that we have to offer, and I added the two links for the two movies that we have. So either the From Concept to Click, which is understanding the dynamic of campaign, commercial, and editorial fashion shoots, and the Captain of the Ship movie. So,
And if you want to book us for the captain of the ship, so we create the class, just DM us or just send us an email. And the email is productions.ambc@gmail.com.
just to that email.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're here. Thank you so much for coming, for staying this hour and a half, taking this time out of your Tuesday to be here. And that only shows how passionate you are about photography, about learning something new. So we're here with anything, any questions that you have, whatever you guys need, we're here to be at your service.
Can I just give an offer?
Yeah.
Can we? Okay, so for all who were present, for Joey, Renato, Tanika, and Ash, we are happy to offer you with a 20% discount on all the offers because you are here. That is your gift for the four of you. This is your gift. Just go through the list or book the captain of the ship or become a team and you get the 20% off because you are committed, you are here. Sorry for all who are watching the recording. Sorry, we cannot offer this to everybody, but for the four of you who are present, this is our gift to you.
So just message us privately, whatever it is that you guys want. Just send us a message and we'll set an email and we'll set it up. We'll set it up for you guys.
For you. Yeah. So the price you see is not going to be the price that you pay.
Thank you so much, guys.
That was
Thank you for all the questions,
yes,
for being active, and for staying the entire class. We appreciate you a lot.
Photography is beautiful. Photography is way more than just taking pictures. And fashion is so deep, so deep. and all types of, you know, it's just, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Photography is poetry.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Thank you so much. Bye, Ash. Bye, Tanika, Perla. Thank you
Bye.
for Renato for coming, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. You guys were great.